This is a 2007 RAV4. The problem with the steering, and it's hard to explain what it's doing, and looked up other symptoms online about the same or possible same issue. And what it is, you look up steering wheel clunk, that tells you to do something. But on this one, it's kind of hard to see, but when I'm turning, it like catches. So when you're driving and you're trying to stay in a lane, it wants to pop on you like that. So yeah, it's very annoying to drive. I'm not saying it's not drivable, but very annoying. So one of the things they say to do is to change the intermediate shaft, which is down below. That connects the basically steering wheel with the rack and pinion down here. So if you can't really see very good, but there's a shaft that runs from here up into the column, and that is allowed to travel. It slides across here to here, allows it to go in and out. And people say, "Oh, change that out, that'll stop it." Change it out, still the same thing. So the next step I did is I changed the whole rack out, thinking it was just a regular power steering with power steering fluid. Went and bought fluid and changed everything out. And so sure enough, I changed that out, still the same problem. You might be able to see down in there some new parts, So that was right in there. There's a whole new rack I changed out. Same thing. While I was doing that, I noticed, hey, there's no power steering fluid in this vehicle. What's wrong with it? Well, this has a power steering motor. It's an assist motor. So the rack was actually pretty easy to put in. That was because it didn't have any of the fluids in it. I'll take this key out, sorry. And while I was in it, I went ahead and started taking this apart. This is quite some time ago, about 6 months ago. And I noticed without it connected to the shaft at all, you still had to play in the steering wheel, which was really annoying. So that leads me to believe the only thing left in this shaft that could be a problem, the steering column that could be a problem, was the motor itself. Looked online. For a new one, they went $1,800 for it. So I found one on eBay for $200. This is what it looks like. Here is where the steering wheel will go in. There's an outlet here. This goes down to the column, out to the rack. And this is the motor. Hoping this is all still good. It looks in pretty decent shape. How they really would get dirty too much, but that's our challenge today, is to take the old one out, put this used one in, and hopefully that fixes the problem. And I'll gonna start taking all this stuff down, exposing the column. And I've had it down a pretty good bit beforehand, so it's not too difficult, but I believe that the getting to the wiring harness is quite difficult, but we'll see as we go. All right, that's what I got for you today. Hope you enjoy. All right, what I'm looking at here's the steering shaft. Underneath here, a couple Phillips head screws here and here. That's going to drop this panel down, this cover off. Got to position you in a good spot where you can see exactly what I'm doing. Probably dropped the camera a few times, just bear with me. Just those two screws, and there's some clips that just snap in and just pull right out. Real easy. Looks like two 10mm bolts. Hold this bar in. Do that next. This is the device we're taking out. Can I see where the shaft comes in from the steering wheel, and this goes down to the rack. The wiring up there might be a huge issue. We'll just have to see. I'm going to continue. There's a couple screws here and here we want to pull out. I'm going to drop this plastic piece off as well. Last time I did take the steering wheel off. Let me just go ahead and do that. So Torx 30. This is going to pop the airbag out. Right in there is what I'm getting into. One there and one on the bottom's other side. The first time I did this, the sleeves were pretty tight, so I think I really bogged down on them when I unscrewed them. Lifts up. The yellow tabs here, they pull up and unlock the mechanism. Some would say disconnect the battery. Could be smart. Did it before without, so I'm pretty sure it's not going to go off. So I'll pull these little tabs up, pull it off. Last thing is the airbag is the horn wire at the bottom. One wire plug. Sorry, my camera. Photography skills are horrible. Horn wire, this little clip, spade connector here. That plugs into the bottom there. And that's that. It's out of the way. All right, yeah. So the screws that we just unscrew with the Torx, they kind of stay in there on this little thing here. You can kind of see them poking through. So you don't have to worry about losing those. They'll stay in place. Next, you can pull these connectors off if you like. We'll do that next, just to get everything out of the way. And there's a nut there. I'm not sure what size that is. Maybe like a 18, 17 here in the center. I do have the steering wheel in a pretty centered spot. Might want to mark it. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to mark it before I take it off, just so we don't get out of place. I'm going to stick a Sharpie mark on the metal back here, and then metal in the front, and then hope to get that in the same spot. I'll do it in a couple spots, maybe a crisscross pattern, so we can put the steering wheel back in its right place. Last time I had issues with the clock spring, which you see here. It wasn't supposedly lining up right. It threw a code, a steering code, when it just like for traction control, but I think I cleared it and it went away. So just a note for that. When I get the bolt off, it will be better to draw a line. I just drew a line straight down the center of it. Hopefully that keeps us lined up. Is it 19? Alright, just jerk on that and that came right off. That again needs to be in its correct position. I think it spins like 5 times each way, so you can kind of gauge on where it's supposed to be at based on the center. If it's 5 times one way and 5 times the other, then in the center that is the center. I'll try to keep that as in position, same spot the whole time as best we can. There's little clips. I guess that one kind of broke. Then you got a clip here, and a clip, clip here, clip here, clip here, and clip here. And here's the clock spring. Does this pop out? It does. Yeah, there's 2 clips on the bottom. They pull down, and that gets removed. And the clock spring is a clip here. You pull down. Clip here. You pull down. It slides in and out. Remove this from here. And we got another one. I think this is. This is spring loaded, pulls in, comes out. All right. Now the clock spring should be able to slide out. Cover on. Oh, the 3rd pin on the very top. Something's catching it still. Oh, one more gray connector on the bottom. Pulls out. Yeah, there's one more. There's little tabs on the top. So might put a zip tie around that, keep it in its correct position. So all I did was put a zip tie just around here, just so it won't twist and turn. Can't go too far anyway, but there's no wrong way to put it in once it's up, because this spot only has one spot to fit inside the steering wheel. So if it's over 30 degrees, it just won't go in. So it has to be in the center. We know that center. We don't have to do guesswork about spinning it around each way and counting the turns. This way I know it's in the center. It's where it came from. So it's locked in place. We'll cut it off at the very end. Set that to the side. Next we have our windshield wipers and lights plugs. We'll unplug those. Those unplugged. There's a few plugs up in here. There's 2 in there, 1 down here. Unplug those. And then there's a big one right here we unplug. A small little black one. steering column can move in and out, up and down. Oh. This piece just pulls off. Pink clips there, just pulls right off. It connects. Yeah, it's connected to the top panel. You pull that away. Made a lot of room. That off. Now I'm gonna go for these 10mm. I think they're 10mm bolts. Maybe, nope, bigger than 10. 12s maybe. Underneath there. We got 2. So I'm not sure how this is bolted in. Might look at the old and see. There's the intermediate shafts I gotta pull off. With this, pull it down. And start at the top. Those 12s. As I unscrew these, the steering column is dropping down, as you can see there. I'm going to pull this bracket down, wiring harness down, so I can get to it. I'm wondering as I go with you guys, so bear with me. It'd be nice to get this last black harness out. That's the immobilizer. This is like a hinged piece that this part here would flip up to remove off the steering column. That's the case. I might be able to get away with not taking so much stuff off, but take that back. There's a bolt that goes through here, but they ground it off, so that's not coming off there. It's a good thing, so probably would misalign it. So they may have to come loose just so I get this other connector off. Plastic piece that pops off around it. Harness out. Just gonna lightly thread one of those on so it doesn't hang down so low. Clips here and drop this harness down. They're little 2-prong clips, but came right down. All right, move that out of the way. And we should have a clear shot to most of the things in here. I got some aftermarket junk in here as well. Tuck that back in there. Hopefully this is not in the way. We'll remove this intermediate shaft next. One of the biggest problems in this is the space and the lighting. I got a big light in here that is big. It's bright, but it's big. So here I might have a little problem on this shaft. There's a bolt that you probably see it right there on the shaft, and I have to maybe turn the steering wheel a smidgen to get to it. So I got 12mm. I dropped it on my forehead. This might be where you mark it again. Well, here's the screw, bolt, whatever you want to call it. I want to make a mark on the shaft and so I can verify it's in the right position when I put it back on. Doesn't matter where you put the mark, just make sure you put it on both. Well, I say that, but we're taking this thing completely out. So, yeah, I don't think that's really needed since I'm going to be taking that out. So this should move now to some extent. There is. You need to take this cover off over here. These are just, they're 10mm things, but they're just plastic. So you just unscrew my hand, push them on. When you're done, this just pulls out. I'm one-handed here. Alright, take the whole shaft out. You're going to do this bolt there. I don't want to have to do that, but maybe I will have to do it. We'll try it without first. Let's see if we can see how it works. So it looks like the motor sticks up like that. It's a pivot bolt that goes through here And that allows the steering column to lift up and down. And then that's just holding it on right now. It's this pivot bolt. So that's the next thing to do. Gotta find out where this harness hooks to, but we shall see. There's a 12. Okay. Doesn't have a bolt. Just a couple threads to spun it back on right here, just so it didn't fall into your face. Let's see if I can use some extensions and a wobbly bit. All right, I got the multi wobble with extension. Here's my wobbly, got a small one, quarter reach up, and yeah, it's a mess. But let's make it take this extension off. It broke free, so very little less flaccid. That ain't gonna work. I think I started this job around 10:30, 11:15 now, something like that. I'm not sure how far I'm into this. It's not too bad so far, just kind of annoying. While I'm doing this, looking up above, I do see the harness to disconnect. Might not be as bad as I thought. Oh, it's still ratcheting, it's still catching on some threads. Crappy part, I can't get my hand in there to. It's really. Alright, bolt came free. Remove the wrench. Slide bolt out if I can. Oh man, that's a stupid design. That's a really. So you gotta push the brake pedal in to get the bolt out. Alright. Makes sense. I mean, say sense, but oh crap. Now the brakes are tight. Now this is just getting stupid. So the bolt doesn't want to slide out because it's something's blocking it. All right. A few more things to take off. All right. Oh, looks like I can't really see what's going on. Let's try to see the bolt there in the center. It's hitting on the brake thing, the brake lever system, so the bolt can't come out. So I'm gonna try to take out these 4 bolts on the brake, and maybe move it out to the side or something. This is fun stuff, guys. Fun stuff. Harness is here. The brake switch. Push that clip, pull them up, because they're in the way. There's another clip. This gray one to the side. Sorry if it sounds like I'm kicking it. Sharp edges. Be careful. Okay. Very sharp edges. Alright, unclip those little, kind of like Christmas tree fasteners. Gee, I'm just bleeding everywhere. Wow. Alright. What? Kind of raved about this little Kimo 3/8 ratchet thing I'm using, but after looking at and using some other ones, this thing's kind of garbage compared to the other one. There's a cotter pin to release it from the master cylinder. we gotta release that pin there from the master cylinder. The master cylinder is that plunger looking thing into the back. Cotter pin removed. It's greasy. Set that down so it doesn't get all nasty. Pin comes out. Puts the cotter pin with it. Now this. Oh. That might have been the only thing I had to do. Alright. The light is limited now. This big light right there. This little DeWalt light. Now, it's the worst filming ever, I think. So by moving the cotter pin, I can move the brake switch further. Alright, got the bolt out. Alright. I put these back on. Help me. Still got the cotter pin to put back in eventually. This thing can now somewhat freely. The only thing left is the connector at the top. So the connector looks like this. I got a single one there and a big one there because it applies the voltage, you know, high current. And there's a clip that clips onto it. So those are my challenges, getting those things probably underneath it. I'm gonna turn it off, see what I can do. Once I figure it out, I'll bring the camera back and show you. Alright, welcome back, I guess. I ended up taking off the intermediate shaft from here to here. Kind of an issue, I guess. So when the bolt was going through from the side, so when taking the bolt off, the bolt was, this is the upper shaft part of it, right here, the upper part. The bolt was through here. I took it off and pulled the pin out. We left this split on the back side, and because it's tightened down, it squeezes that split. It kind of bends the metal around it. It's very hard to get off. So I had to, when I took the bottom off, I was able to spin the shaft around. The key lock was on, so make sure your key unlocks the steering wheel lock. Spin it around, put a screwdriver in there, kind of tapped it in to spread these ears out, whatever, a little bit, and then I could pry it off with a little pry bar. Just a little side note. Well, it's so hard to see here. I'm on the dash here. Here's the steering thing I'm trying to change out. I took it, it normally sits up about like so. I take it and I push it all the way forward. Right, it gives you a little more space. And here is the power cable that runs up through here. On the very edge of this, there is a little retaining clip that clips into this metal bracket right there. And that's the next step I'm going to try to do, is fish this little screwdriver in there to push those little tabs out to free this up a little bit. All right, that harness is really far up in the dash. I'm going to try to get through from the top, taking this off. There's 4 screws, I think at least 4, at least 2 screws here and here, and this should come off. This brain is the controller to it. The plug I'm looking for is right here. This actually might be a little easier than I thought. So maybe I have to go maybe unbolt this box, slide it out so I can unplug it. That's my direction I'm headed right now. A lot of stuff to take off. Maybe unhook these harnesses here first and see if I can get in there. trying to do is a long extension on the swivel socket. I'm gonna break it loose maybe first if I can. The key wrench is kind of broke. It's maybe not as easy as I thought. It's one. Only 3 screws in it. All right, I got it out. Once I got those the module out, this came unplugged. So now I'm going to take this off of the column. Seems pretty straightforward. Pinch these, things should slide out. Probably easier said than done. Here. It looks like this whole assembly comes off. Just slide. It does, just slides right off. That's even better. Looks like the same part number, of course. So don't get confused. This is the old. Set that one to the side. There's a certain spline it has to fit on. Doesn't look like it. Just looks like it's gotta find it. There we go. Is it easier? Let's try to do something in reverse. Let's try to put this on first and then slide that on. See, the downside would be holding it up. The other thing, you could use these bolts to hold it up. It's heavy, awkward, heavy, all the above. This stupid thing here, so I can get rid of it. So I got the pivot bolt down there. Now I'll bring the cables up. They're in position. This. There was a bolt in front right here, and then there was one right here, which I don't think I need to take out. I just took off this bottom bracket bolt on that stud. I'm looking for that actually nut. I think it's this one. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So that can just be loosened because it has a little split in the bottom. You can just kind of sit in there. Now there's the main one, the other one, some other one that was sitting here. And then I have this big one that's underneath the blue connector. It plugs in there. And then I'll mount it back up. And before I get everything all back together, I want to power everything back up and make sure it works. Just works in general. All this mess. I'm gonna slide that piece back in and get it bolted in. Not bolted, but set in place. As a side note, can this come off without taking the steering wheel off? Probably. Is it as fun? No. The major part of this is just getting it, learning how to take it apart, not so much to do it. The biggest problem I had was the steering column, intermediate shaft, taking it apart. Some things back in place. This black one goes behind the key cylinder. That's for the anti-theft. It's probably the hardest one of all these. In a very awkward angle. There it goes. The big one goes to the big one. We have all these kind of layouts. Little these small one goes into small hole. Clock spring goes on. Snap that in place. This black one goes in there. This dude goes in here. Nope. Where does dude go? One goes there. Something goes there. Remember, it was this yellow one. Kind of slid in from the side. It was different. Yep. Alright. Nope. This gray one goes up or right here. Line up those lines. Looks good there. Not tuck anything down just yet. Getting things into place. It's probably gonna throw a code for no airbag, but that's just the way it's gonna be. Plug that the foot pedal brake switches. Plug in. Alright, this black one goes in. This one. Sorry, the gray one. It's all the plugs unplugged. Yep. The clock spring needs to be pulled off. No, clock spring itself with the zip tie. Alright. Alright, I think it feels good. Motor seems to be working prime. I do have an airbag light on. That's because the airbag's not hooked up. So just turn it off and put it back together. What? The battery's getting kind of low, but we'll finish putting this together and tap in there. Cable goes there. There's 2 Phillips head screws. Yeah, the next big thing is the down below. We'll leave this off for now until I get the bottom hooked up back up, so I have room for the steering wheel to be out of the way. The steering wheel is pretty straight as it is right now. Before I put this on, I'm going to make sure I get this bolt in all the way through here. I got the 12 as well. It's a tough one, it's heavy. Put a socket on it and spin that by hand. Can't get it out there. Let's see, the most little stupid issues. Alright, pin back in place. Let's retest the spring. Plug this back in place. It goes there. Snaps in. Snap in. One more. And there we go. And it's back in place there. I'm going to snug up these bolts up here. There's some witness marks on this. The old one's set. So we'll pull this forward a smidgen. So what I'm going to do is pull it out of the bottom one. It's tight. All right, got it seated. I'm not going to tighten it up completely yet. I'm looking for a test drive first, because it might need to be adjusted. Low batteries, good. I'm going to put the covers back on, take it for a test drive, and see how it works. All right, back on the road. I got to figure out to fix this straightness, what straight is, but it really has changed the feel of it. It definitely fixed the problem. Real issue, man. That's my straight. I gotta readjust that at the bottom. But overall, looks pretty good. Very happy. I can actually drive this car now. Before it was just so annoying to drive that I didn't want to drive it. But yeah, definitely this is straight and it's not straight anymore. So good deal. Everything's went back together really smooth. So everything went back together pretty well. I want to thank everybody for watching, and please like and subscribe. See you next time.